Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Y'all, I literally prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed that I'll be accepted into a master's program for speech-language pathology, and thank God it was in His will for my life. Welcome back to my channel. My name is T.Slater, and I'm going to share with you how and why I applied for the master's program in speech-language pathology. So if you watched my last video, you saw that I completed the bachelor's degree in speech-language pathology. Well, in the state of Georgia, I can work as a speech-language pathologist assistant with a bachelor's degree. So it's just like, why go back to school? Why get a master's degree when I can just go straight in and work as a SLPA, start making money, living out my purpose? I applied for a master's program because I knew by having a master's degree, it would open up a lot of opportunities for me. And that's what I wanted. Primarily, you will see speech-language pathologist assistants only working in the school setting. I didn't know if I wanted to be in the hospitals. I didn't know if I wanted to be in the physician offices. I had no idea where I wanted to be. Therefore, I did not want to limit myself to just a few settings. The state of Georgia only has 5 master's programs in speech-language pathology. Only 5. Out of the 5 programs, all of them only accept students once a year, except for one program. One of the programs, I think they accept students 3 times a year. On top of that, most of these programs, they have a cap, right? So they only have a limited number of students they accept. Most programs only accept 20 students. So just think, if it's 5 programs, out of these 5 programs, 4 of them only accept once a year. They're only accepting about 20 students. So what's 4 times 20? That's 80. 80 is a really small number. It's a really small number. These master's programs are competitive. The master's program that I was eventually accepted in, they told me that every year they receive between 200 and 300 applicants, and they only pick 20. Like, how do you pick 20 people from 200 to 300 applicants? I recommend applying to as many programs as possible that you know for certain if you were accepted, you would go. A lot of people do not recommend that. I think I recommend that simply because I remember applying to grad schools and not being selected for any of them, and I applied for a small number. Don't just apply to one school, because if you apply to one school and you do not get accepted into that one school, then what are you gonna do? So the application process is a little different for each school. Different schools have different requirements. So one school I applied for wanted me to have like a 3.8 GPA. Another school wanted me to have a 3.5 GPA. Another school wanted me to have a 3.0 GPA. So one school wanted a GRE score of 300. One school wanted a GRE score of 295. Some programs wanted you to send in a resume. Some schools did not. Some programs wanted you to send in letters of recommendations. And sometimes that varied. One school may say 3, another school may say 2. Every program has different requirements, so it's very imperative that you go to the website of that program, you look and read each line carefully to see what they require. My personal journey of applying to grad school the second time was very different from the first time. First time, I think I only took the GRE once. When I applied to grad school for the second time, I took the GRE. I took it at least 5 times. I took it 5 times because the programs that I was applying for, they had set numbers. Like I said, like they would have a writing number, a verbal number, and a quantitative number. I did not hear back from a few different schools that I applied for. I was waitlisted for 2 schools. Then I was officially accepted into, well, not officially, I was accepted into 2 schools. And then I had to make my decision between the 2 schools. So I decided on a school that was in state, simply because your girl already had a lot of student loan debt, and I did not want to add to that with out-of-state tuition. So I selected the school that was in state, and plus it was closer to home. My recommendation for anyone who wants to apply for a master's program in speech language pathology, do it. I would highly recommend you stay connected with your current program professors, right? Build a relationship with them, you know, seek them for tips and tricks and advice. Another tip I would say is study for the GRE. Create study groups, get a tutor. There are so many free resources online. Check it out. Do what you have to do so you can receive the GRE score that's needed in order for you to be competitive throughout the application process. If you do have to interview in order to be accepted into a master's program, practice with a speech therapist. Practice with maybe one of your classmates, with your parents. Practice with a professor. So you can go online and just Google interview questions for a master's program in speech language pathology. Ask me. I would love to practice with someone. I remember being on the other side. I will also say do the best in all your courses so that you can have a very competitive GPA. Also, apply to as many schools as your heart desires. Do not allow anyone to tell you only apply to 1 school or only apply to 2 schools. Apply to however many schools that you feel like you should apply. I remember being in this same exact position you are in, wondering if I should take a gap year, wondering if I should just go and work as a SLPA since I have a bachelor's degree, wondering if I should apply for a master's program, but what if I don't get accepted into a master's program? I remember being there. I remember being there. So just know you can do it. You will get accepted into a master's program. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you comment below any questions you have about the application process for speech language pathology, as well as subscribe to my channel so you can receive a notification the next time I drop a video. See ya.